Hello friends, welcome to Diksha Classroom. In the last few days, we have been discussing some of the questions from last NTA NET examinations from various topics. And we have been discussed the questions from the topic of higher education, mathematical reasoning and communication and logical reasoning. And today we are going to discuss the questions from the last NET examinations which were happened in the months of September, October and November. Today we are going to discuss some of the questions from that exam in the topics of communication. So we have to move to the first question. So first of all, we have to read the question very clearly, and the question is: successful communication inside the classroom depends upon. So the question is very clear. Successful communication inside the classroom depends upon, and we have given some statements. So the statement A says detailed and long description of the topic, and B says describing the theme, and C says use of persuasive words and phrases, and statement of D says like clarity in explanations offered, and E says repetitive anecdotes, and F says unstructured delivery of message. Out of these statements, which among them leads to successful communication inside the classroom? So here we have to be understood very clearly the terms successful communication and the classroom. So the question is related to successful communication and it relates to classroom. So we have to be understood very clearly. Successful communication inside the classroom depends out of which of the following statements. Which among the following statements helps to, or which among the following statements leads to successful communication inside the classroom? This is the question. So if you have the answer, you can comment the answer below, or if you want more time to read, or if you want to more time to answer this question, you can pause the video and you can comment or you can type the answer. So let's move to the answer now. So the answer is option 2, B, C and D only. So we have discussed it earlier. The question is related to successful communication inside the classroom. So we know that successful communication inside the classroom depends describing the theme and use of persuasive words and phrases, and option D also clarity in explanations offered. So we know that when we read these statements, we can clearly or we can easily understand describing the theme and use of persuasive words and phrases and clarity in explanation offered helps to successful communication, or these are the things which are leads to successful communication inside the classroom. We can check that how describing the theme helps to successful communication, or how the use of persuasive words and phrases helps to successful communication, or how the clarity in explanations offered helps to successful communication inside the classroom. When we analyze this question, we can say that describing the theme is one among the important function which a teacher wants to do inside the classroom. When a teacher comes to the classroom, a teacher should have a theme which a teacher is going to explain in that class. So when the teacher explain, or when the teacher describe the theme very specifically and very clearly and very understandable manner, the student can catch the concept very easily. So we can say that describing the theme is one of the function, or describing the theme is helps to successful communication inside the classroom. And we can check that use of persuasive words and phrases. When a speaker use persuasive words and phrases, there is no doubt it leads to a successful communication in the classroom and clarity in explanations offered. So in here also there is no chances of doubts. There will not be arise any doubt in the statement D, clarity in explanations offered. When a speaker explains something or when a teacher explains something inside the classroom, it should have a clarity and it should have a clarification. We don't use the vague statements or ambiguous statements. We should not be used. Instead, a teacher or a speaker who talks inside the classroom should explain the theme or should explain the chapters or should explain the notes in very clearly. So the unclear explanation is not leads to a successful communication, but a clarity in the clarity in explanation leads to successful communication inside the classroom. So we can say that describing the theme and use of persuasive words and phrases and clarity in explanations offered will be helped to the successful communication inside the classroom. And when we check the statement A, we can say that detailed and long description of the topic is not needed. A detailed and long description is not needed. So the class should be in specific and don't say more and more things or don't say unwanted things in the classroom. So we have to, a teacher or speaker have to explain the things very clearly and very precisely. Okay, then we can say that the repetitive anecdotes. So obviously we know that anecdotes are helpful. Anecdotes are helpful to effective learning, but here it is repetitive. So more and more anecdotes, jokes or unwanted jokes and anecdotes will be leads to unsuccessful communication. So it should not be in repetitive in nature. We can use sometimes, and when we start the class we can use anecdotes, but when a speaker or teacher use anecdotes in repetitive nature, it does not lead to a successful communication inside the classroom. And the statement F, we can obviously say that unstructured delivery of messages not leads to a successful communication. So I hope you have understood this question and answer and the concept. So we can move to the next question. So the question is, a communicated message is considered as an social product, unnatural product, spin-off product, a techno product. So the question is very direct question. So we have given 4 options, and out of these 4 options, the communicated message is considered as which one is the whether it is related to or whether the communicated message is considered as social product, or whether the communicated message is considered as unnatural product, or whether the communicated message is considered as spin-off product, or whether the communicated message is considered as techno product. So we have to find the answer. If you know the answer, you can comment. So the answer is social product. It is very direct question and it is very easy. So we know that a communicated message does not has the feature of unnatural product, and we know that it is not a spin-off product, and we know that it's not related to, it's not a techno product, but it is a social product. Why a communicated message is known as or considered as social product means, when a communication is happening or when a communication takes place, there should be one speaker, there should be one sender, and there should be one receiver. As sender send an information or share or exchange or idea or information, whether in the form of verbal or non-verbal or written or any form, to the receiver, there will be a communicated message. So there should be a sender and there should be a receiver. So we can say that a communicated message is considered as social product. So let's check to the another question. So the question is, the impact of classroom communication should be so regulated that it should be result in. So we have to read the question once again. the impact of classroom communication should be so regulated that it should result in. So an impact of classroom communication should be regulated and it should result in. So after a classroom communication or impact of classroom communication should have the results of, we have given four options or we have given four statements. First one is A, that is exchange of ideas and information, and another one top down designer communication, and the third one backroom learning, and the fourth one minimum opportunity for feedback. Out of these four options, which of the option should have result, which of the options want the result of the impact of classroom communication, or we can say that the impact of classroom communication should be so regulated that it should be resulting out of which of the following these statements. That is the question. If you have the answer, you can comment now and we have to check the answer. So it is also one of the easy question which NTA asked in the topics of communication in the last examination. So we can say that the result, the impact or the result of classroom communication should be exchange of ideas and information. Okay, and it is not top-down designer communication, and it is not the backroom learning. So the backroom, we should not promote that backroom learning, and the last one, minimum opportunity for feedback. Obviously, it is not. So a teacher or speaker in the classroom should have given more opportunities for feedback. Feedback is very relevant and very must thing, because the teacher can understand the feelings and the comments and the feedbacks of the students when a teacher has given more chances to feedback facilities to the students, only the teacher can understand the feelings of the students. So there should not be a minimum opportunity for feedback, but there should be a maximum opportunity for feedback. So we can say that in this question we can understand that the results of the classroom communication, or the results of the good classroom communication, should be the exchange of ideas and information. A teacher or a speaker in the classroom should exchange the ideas and information to the students. Okay, so this is the question. I hope you have understood this concept, and we can move to the next one. Which of the following statements expresses information use of language? And we have given four statements. First one is get out of my class, and B, why are you so late, and C, I request my students to be punctual, and option D, she is very caring and cooperative. So we have given four statements and we have to be identified which of the following statement expresses information use of language. So here we have given four statements. We have read already. Get out of my class is the first statement. Why are you so late is the second statement, and I request my students to be punctual is the third statement, and the last and final statement is she is very caring and cooperative. And which of the following statement, or which among the statement expresses information use of language? This is the question. So we have to be identified which one is answer. So which one of the following is expresses information use of language? Okay, I repeat, which among the following statement expresses the information by use of language? So we have to check the answer now. So the answer is she is very caring and cooperative. When we analyze this question and when we analyze these statements, we can say that these all statements, very importantly, the first three statements often used by teachers in the classroom. It is one each and every day the teachers using these statements. Teachers are often use these statements in day by day. So we have to check why the statement D become the answer and why don't that statement A and B and C don't become the answer. So when we check or when we analyze this question, we can say that in the question itself, it clearly expresses like information use of language. So following the statement, which of the statement passes the information, which of the following statement exchange or passes the information to the students by the use of language. So question is very clear, and when we check the options and the statements, we can say that get out of my class. It is not provide, it does not provide informations, but it's like a command. We can say that it is a command. Get out of my class. A teacher often using this statement in the classroom. Get out of my class when a student didn't complete the notes, or when a students don't listen properly, or a students doing any unkindful activities in the classroom. A teacher often says like get out of my class. It is a command. And next one is why are you so late? It is a question. Why are you so late? When a student comes to the classroom by late, a teacher obviously will be asked like why are you so late? It is a question. And she says I request my students to be punctual. It is a request. When the students comes by late, often a teacher using this statement. I request my students to be punctual, and the teacher will explain the importance of punctuality. It is happening day by day in the classroom. So we can say that it is a request. Get out of my class is a command. Why are you so late is a question. I request my students to be punctual is a request. And D, she is very caring and cooperative. It is a information. It is a information regarding that girl, she. So she is very caring and cooperative means that girl or that woman is very caring and cooperative. So this is the information, the use of language. Okay, so I hope you have understood, and we can move to the last and final question. So the question is, which of the following are useful in overcoming the communication barriers in the classroom? So the question is related to communication barriers. We all know that what is communication barriers. So the question is, which of the following are useful in overcoming? And another term is overcoming. In order to overcome the communication barriers, which of the following are useful? Okay, I hope you have understood the question. Question is very simple. In order to overcome the communication barriers, which of the following are useful? And we have given some statements. First one is identifying the level of redundancy, and next one use of unfamiliar words, and third one ignoring the students' vocabulary, and fourth one fragmented sentences, and fifth one voice inflection, and seventh one contextualizing the speech. So out of these statements, which among are useful in overcoming the communication barriers? And we have given four options. Option A, only A, B, C. Option B, only B, C and D. And option C, only C, D and F. And option D, only A, E and F. So if you have known the answer, you can type the answer below, or we have to check the answer now. So the answer is only A, E and F. Okay, which among the following are useful in overcoming the communication barriers in a classroom? So we have to know that identifying the level of redundancy is helpful to, or it is useful to overcoming the communication barriers in the classroom. There is no doubt. And we can say that voice inflection also useful in overcoming the communication barriers in the classroom, and the contextualizing the speech also helpful to overcome the communication barriers. So it is a very simple question, and we know that identifying the level of redundancy when we talk something, or when we teaching in the classroom, or when we in the learning process, so the teacher or a speaker should have identified the level of redundancy. How many times a teacher has to repeat the statement, or how much time a teacher should concentrate on a specific topic. Like, a teacher should have identified the level of redundancy. If or when a teacher identify the level of redundancy in the classroom, it helps to overcome the communication barriers. And we know that voice inflection, obviously voice inflection means nothing, voice variations. Voice inflection means voice variations. Okay, so when a teacher variate his or her voices in the classroom according to the minds or according to the mood of the students, it's also very useful to overcoming the communication barriers. So we know that there is no doubt, and contextualizing the speech, it also useful when we talk something, or when we speak something, or when we take classes in the classrooms, or when we teach something, we have to be identified the context, or we have to be identified the situation where, in which place we are going to speak, in which circumstances we are going to teach. Like, the context should be very clear, so we have to be identified the context when we start to the speak. Okay, so the contextualizing the speech is very important. When we contextualize the speech in order to the different conditions, or in order to in the different circumstances, or when we contextualize the speech according to the different circumstances or different conditions, it is very useful in overcoming the communication barriers in the classroom. So we can say that A, identifying the level of redundancy, and E, voice inflection or voice variations, and F, contextualizing the speech are useful in overcoming the communication barriers in the classroom. And we have to check the another answer, use of unfamiliar words. Obviously, that should not be useful in the classroom. So we use when we talk something, or when we want to convey some information to another person, we have to be used the familiar words. When we use unfamiliar words, the listeners should not get the concept what the speaker has to spread. So the use of unfamiliar words is not useful in overcoming the communication barriers, but it itself a communication barrier. And when we check the ignoring students vocabulary, so we should not, a speaker or a teacher should not ignore the students vocabulary. The teacher should address, or the teacher should respect the students vocabulary. And the fragmented sentences, when a teacher or a speaker use fragmented sentences, it is not useful in order to overcome the communication barriers. But the fragmented, when we use fragmented sentences, it is also a part of a communication barrier. It leads to communication barrier. It leads to barriers in the communication. So we can say that identifying the level of redundancy and voice inflection and contextualizing the speech are useful in overcoming the communication barriers in the classroom. I hope you all understood very clearly this concept and the question and the answers. So in the coming days, we will be discussing more questions from the communication. So thank you all.